Are you feeling stuck in your personal or professional life? You might be unknowingly blocking your own growth. Let's explore some signs that could be holding you back. It takes a tremendous amount of courage to even ask this question, to turn inwards and examine the patterns that might be keeping us from the life we want to live, the work we want to do, the person we aspire to be. So often, these barriers aren't malicious forces from the outside, but subtle, ingrained habits of thought and behavior that we've developed, sometimes as a way to protect ourselves. But what once served as protection can, over time, become a cage, limiting our experiences and our potential. This journey of self-discovery isn't about blame or shame. It's about understanding with compassion what's really going on beneath the surface. It's about recognizing that we all have these moments of feeling stuck, of wondering why we can't quite get to where we want to go. The truth is, growth is inherently vulnerable. It requires us to step into the unknown, to risk, and sometimes to fail. And that's okay. In fact, it's more than okay. It's essential. Today we're going to look at some common ways we might be, without even realizing it, getting in our own way. My hope is that by shining a light on these patterns, we can start to loosen their grip. This isn't about finding quick fixes, but about cultivating a deeper awareness and a more compassionate relationship with ourselves. It's about choosing courage over comfort and recognizing that the path to growth is paved with imperfect, often messy steps. So, let's lean in, get a little curious, and perhaps a little uncomfortable as we explore these signs together. What if the key to unlocking your potential is already within you, just waiting to be seen? Procrastination. Oh, that word. It often comes wrapped in layers of guilt and self-criticism, doesn't it? We tell ourselves we're lazy, undisciplined, or just not good at managing our time. But what if procrastination is less about a character flaw and more about an emotional response? What if it's a way our brains try to manage difficult feelings like fear, anxiety, or boredom associated with a task? Think about it. When we face something that feels overwhelming, or something where we fear we might not measure up, that I'll do it later can feel like a momentary reprieve, a small comfort in the face of discomfort. It's a very human way to cope. This isn't to say we should just let procrastination run the show, but understanding its roots can help us approach it with more compassion and effectiveness. It's often a fear of failure, a fear of judgment, or even a fear of success and the changes it might bring. Sometimes it's perfectionism in disguise. If I can't do it perfectly, I won't do it at all. Or at least, not yet. We might tell ourselves stories, I work better under pressure, or I just need to be in the right mood. These narratives can be compelling, but they often keep us stuck in a cycle of avoidance and last-minute stress, preventing us from engaging fully and authentically with our work and goals. So how do we begin to untangle this? It starts with acknowledging the emotion. Instead of berating yourself, try asking, what am I feeling right now that makes this task so hard to start? Then, it's about daring to take one small, imperfect step. Break the task into tiny, manageable pieces. The goal isn't to conquer the entire mountain in one go, but to simply take the first step on the path. Celebrate that small act of courage, because choosing to begin, especially when it feels hard, is an act of showing up for yourself, and that's where real growth begins to blossom, one moment at a time. Fear of failure. This one is big, and it's deeply human. It's that knot in your stomach when you think about trying something new, putting your work out there, or taking a chance on a relationship or opportunity. It's the voice that whispers, what if I'm not good enough? What if I make a fool of myself? What if they reject me? This fear isn't just about the practical consequences of failing, it often taps into our deepest sense of worthiness. It can feel like if we fail at something, we are a failure. And that, my friends, is where shame often rears its head, telling us we're not worthy of connection or belonging because of our imperfections or setbacks. This fear can be incredibly paralyzing. It can keep us playing small, staying within the perceived safety of our comfort zones, even if we're deeply unfulfilled there. We might avoid challenges, procrastinate on important tasks, as we just discussed, or engage in perfectionism, believing that if everything is flawless, we can somehow sidestep the possibility of failure and the shame that might accompany it. We build armor of cynicism, of aloofness, of control, all in an attempt to protect ourselves from the vulnerability that comes with daring to try, daring to put ourselves out there in the arena of life where there are no guarantees. But here's the truth I've learned, and what the research consistently shows. Failure is an inevitable and incredibly valuable part of growth. It's data, it's a teacher, it's proof that you were brave enough to step into the arena. The most resilient, wholehearted people I know aren't those who have never failed. They are the ones who know how to fail, how to get back up, learn from it, and rise strong. Embracing failure means reframing it not as an endpoint, but as a stepping stone. It means cultivating the courage to be imperfect and the compassion to forgive ourselves when we stumble. It's about choosing to live a brave life, not a perfect one. Chapter 3. The Inner Critic's Monologue, Rewriting Your Negative Self-Talk. Let's talk about that voice inside, the one that can be our harshest critic. You know the one I mean. It's the voice that chimes in with, "You're not smart enough, you'll never get this right," or "Who do you think you are?" This negative self-talk can feel so automatic, so deeply ingrained, that we often mistake it for truth. But these are stories, narratives we've internalized, perhaps from past experiences, critical feedback we once received, or societal messages about who we should be and what constitutes success. These are the shame gremlins, as I often call them, whispering insidious doubts and criticisms that erode our confidence. The impact of this internal monologue is profound. It doesn't just make us feel bad, it actively undermines our ability to grow. If we're constantly telling ourselves we're incapable or unworthy, why would we take risks? Why would we pursue challenging goals? Negative self-talk fuels the fear of failure. It justifies procrastination, and it keeps us tethered to our comfort zones. It's like having a heckler follow you around, pointing out every perceived flaw and predicting every potential downfall. Over time, this constant barrage can significantly diminish our self-esteem and our belief in our own potential, making us play smaller than we truly are. The good news is that we don't have to be passive listeners to this inner critic. We can learn to challenge it, to rewrite those old, unhelpful scripts. The first step is awareness, simply noticing when that negative voice pipes up. Then we can start to question its validity. Is this thought 100% true? Is there another way to look at this situation? We can practice speaking to ourselves with the same kindness and compassion we would offer a dear friend who was struggling. This means replacing harsh judgments with gentle encouragement and critical self-assessment with realistic and affirming truths. It's about cultivating an inner ally rather than an inner critic, fostering a mindset that supports rather than sabotages our growth. Chapter 4. Beyond the Familiar Walls, Breaking Free from Comfort Zone Dependency. Our comfort zone, it sounds so inviting, doesn't it? A place of familiarity, predictability, and perceived safety. And there's nothing inherently wrong with having a comfort zone. We all need spaces where we can rest and recharge. However, when we become overly dependent on it, when the fear of stepping outside its boundaries dictates our choices, it transforms from a sanctuary into a limitation. Growth, by its very nature, requires us to stretch, to venture into the unfamiliar, to embrace a certain level of discomfort. If we only ever do what feels easy and known, we deny ourselves the experiences that foster resilience, learning, and true expansion. The reluctance to leave our comfort zone is often rooted in fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of discomfort, fear of judgment, and, as we've discussed, fear of failure. It's where vulnerability lives, that feeling of being exposed and uncertain. Our brains are wired to seek safety and avoid threat, so stepping into that space of not knowing can feel counterintuitive, even dangerous. We might tell ourselves stories to justify staying put. I'm just not that kind of person, or it's safer this way. But safety, when it comes at the cost of our aliveness and potential, can become a gilded cage, comfortable but ultimately constraining our spirit. So how do we begin to nudge those boundaries? It's not about taking giant, terrifying leaps all at once. It's about small, courageous steps. Maybe it's speaking up in a meeting when you normally stay silent, trying a new hobby, taking a different route home, or initiating a conversation that feels a little challenging. Each time we intentionally step into that mild discomfort and navigate it, we expand our capacity. We learn that we can handle uncertainty, that we are more resilient than we thought. The magic doesn't happen in the heart of the comfort zone. It happens just beyond its edges, where we dare to learn, explore, and become more of who we are meant to be. Chapter 5. Charting Your Course. The Power of Purposeful Goal Setting and Resetting. Without a sense of direction, it's easy to feel like we're adrift, buffeted by the winds of circumstance rather than intentionally navigating our lives. A lack of clear goals can manifest as a feeling of stagnation, a sense that we're busy but not necessarily productive, or that we're not making meaningful progress in the areas that truly matter to us. It's not just about having a to-do list. It's about connecting with a deeper sense of purpose and asking ourselves, what do I truly want to create, experience, or become? When we don't have this clarity, we might find ourselves reacting to external pressures or simply maintaining the status quo, which can be a subtle form of self-sabotage. You've likely heard of SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. These are incredibly useful tools for bringing structure and clarity to our aspirations. But I want to encourage us to infuse this process with heart and meaning. Yes, make your goals specific, but also ensure they resonate with your core values. Make them measurable, but also consider how achieving them will make you feel. Ensure they are achievable, pushing you gently out of your comfort zone, but not so far that they invite overwhelm and despair. Critically, ensure they are relevant to your definition of a meaningful life, not someone else's. And while time-bound gives a framework, allow for grace and flexibility. The process of setting goals is as important as achieving them. It's an act of self-reflection, of daring to name what we want. And it's crucial to remember that goals are not set in stone. They are living, breathing intentions that can and should evolve as we learn and grow. Sometimes the greatest learning comes not from hitting the target perfectly, but from the journey itself, the obstacles overcome, the insights gained, the resilience built. So view goal setting not as a rigid contract, but as a compass, guiding you toward a life lived with greater intention, purpose, and the courage to pursue what sets your soul alight. It's about choosing your destination, even if the path takes a few unexpected turns. Outrow embracing the journey, your path to unlocking potential. Recognizing these signs is the first step towards overcoming them. By addressing these barriers, you can unlock your full potential and achieve personal and professional growth. Remember, growth is a continuous journey, so keep pushing forward. This work of looking inward, of identifying the ways we might be holding ourselves back, is not easy. It requires courage, honesty, and a deep commitment to self-compassion. There are no quick fixes or magic bullets, only the steady, often challenging practice of showing up for ourselves, even when it's hard. The beautiful thing is that awareness creates choice. Once we see these patterns, the procrastination driven by fear, the terror of failure, the critical inner voice, the comfortable cage, the aimless drift, we are no longer completely beholden to them. We can begin to make different choices, to respond in new ways, to cultivate habits that support our expansion rather than our contraction. This isn't about achieving perfection. It's about embracing progress, however incremental it may feel. It's about understanding that every small act of courage, every moment of self-kindness, every attempt to stretch beyond what's familiar, contributes to a richer, more authentic life. So I invite you to take what resonates from our conversation today and sit with it. Be gentle with yourself. This is a journey, not a race. The path to unlocking your full potential is uniquely yours, paved with your own experiences, your own stumbles, and your own triumphant moments of rising strong. Keep learning, keep daring, and most importantly, keep believing in your inherent worthiness to grow and flourish. The world needs your unique gifts, and you deserve to experience the fullness of who you are.